Weekend. It was kind of fun to start the conference with the two new opponents in Cal and Stanford, and then obviously a huge win for us on Sunday against Stanford, who was ranked third. Just good to see us play great against a great team and kind of redeem ourselves from the performance a week ago against Nebraska. So proud of us and how we rebounded from that. Looking forward to this coming weekend with Clemson and Georgia Tech. Both very solid teams. Georgia Tech's ranked in the top 20. And they always play great against us. And they have, two of the really premier outsides in the conference. So that should be a really fun matchup on Sunday.
Coach, will the match on Friday interfere with Cherry Looper being able to do the dunk contest?
Yeah. That would be something to see.
With how well she's been playing, she just showed out obviously 18 kills in that last game against Stanford. You knew that she was capable of this level of play, but where is that leap kind of come from?
I think it comes a lot from, experience and just being in our program for her second year. And she had a great summer, worked really hard. And, she's also been working on more than just physical, just her mental game. And I think that's showing. And I watched her post-game interview on ESPN, and she was just talking about the belief in herself and the confidence in tackling this year because it's her last year, and she's gone through a lot to make it through her career, injury-free, and so just really proud of what she's been doing lately.
Dani, with your sweep of Stanford, 7 of the top 10 teams in the country have been swept at least once and twice. Is that indicative of just when you lose the opening set, the momentum that takes over, or it's an indication of parity, inconsistency, or what?
I think it's a lot of parity. I think coaches around the country before the season even started were talking about just how many great players there are this year, and it being the last year of kind of the COVID seniors, you have a lot of fifth-year players that are exceptional, and they're spread out. Not one team doesn't have like 5 of them. You see 1 or 2 on each of these top teams. But I think it's also those players, when they're playing great, it doesn't matter how good you are, it's hard to stop them. And I think when the team starts getting that momentum and they have great players to maintain that, it becomes very difficult to take that momentum back. But the parity across the country is crazy, and a lot of these top 5 matchups have been sweeps, which is very, very interesting. And I think it also is a little bit of an indicator of, some of the growing pains. Some teams returned everybody. Some are using a lot of, new pieces, and there's going to be ups and downs early. And this is also the first year that you've seen this many top matchups early. Normally teams are easing into their season, and this year was, top 5 matchup after top 5 matchup in the non-conference.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago about seeing the improvement from week to week, and take the wins and losses out. Are you kind of on the path you want to see as far as what you're improving on?
For the most part, I think it's my job to, not be satisfied and to remind our players that, we're capable of so much, but we might not be doing enough to reach that right now. And so that's what we talked about last week is, we need to do more if we want to reach our goals and be better in simple things. So, I think we're improving in areas that are new as far as, running a 6-2 with a freshman setter and Reese Robbins on the right. She's a new piece. Those are improving at a rapid rate. Now it becomes the details that we have to continue to get better at in the little things if we want to reach our goals.
Dani, was there any main difference or differences between yesterday's match and Nebraska, or did you sense maybe a different mindset going into it all?
Yeah, I feel like our mind, it was pretty much a punch in the teeth against Nebraska, and we were disappointed with the way we competed. Not that we lost. Nebraska played great. They're a great team, and they make you play great, but just that we didn't compete very well, and we made a lot of errors, and they weren't like close errors. They were bad errors. So we talked about that a lot this past week, and again, worked on the serve and pass game, which has been, I think, holding us back. And we were exceptional in those two areas against Stanford. So that was good to see. It's also nice to not have one of these teams just play out of their minds against us. You know, I think Stanford had a long travel, and then they drove from Notre Dame. I mean, that's hard for them. So we caught them probably at a pretty good time.
I wonder if you could elaborate on the serve question. It seems to me, at least in the Nebraska match, that you didn't have a lot of net serves. You've had more of those, more successful seasons or matches. Are you speaking of something other than just targeting a certain player with your serve?
Yeah, I think that's what we have to get better at is, we, as coaches, we have a certain way we want to attack a opponent from the service line. And you saw against Nebraska, the libero passed the majority of the balls. So that's poor serving on our part because we let their libero take so many of the serve receive balls. So we want to be able to hit the players that we're trying to hit, but also keeping it at a, you want to be at, a 2 air to 1 ace ratio is very, very good against a great team. And I think we were at like 0 aces and 12 airs, so that's not good. So just continue to get better, not only just making serves and making them tough, but being able to control where we're serving and who we're serving to.
Anything else?
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.